hello, hello! We are moments away from qualifying starting for round 3 of FRL Season 7 here at the Circuit Enzo e Dino Ferrari in Emilia-Romagna, also known as the site of the San Marino Grand Prix of old. I'm Nexi. I'm joined here in the commentary box with Sierra.
Hello again.
We got a nice qualifying session about to begin for everyone here.
My money's on random to be the first one out the pits this time.
Yeah. 11 entries today. 2 Aston Martins, 2 Red Bulls. Oh, and it's a drag race out of the pits. We got... that is Sam gonna be the first one out of the pits, actually. You owe me £5, I'm sorry.
We didn't put any money on this.
Well, I did now. That's right.
You can't just decide that.
Anyway, that is Sam out of the pits right now. We got a Red Bull out there. I would assume that is Prid. Followed by the Ferrari at Troy. It's the sole Ferrari entrant today. We don't have an Aston Martin. That is Avo. Out. Followed by Random. I think your career is in shambles with this one.
I know everyone's come out at different times than normal this time. I mean, normally you do see random out. I mean, it is one of the Alpines at the very least. That's something. I do wonder if the Aston Martins are going to do 2 outlaps as they've been doing for the first 2 races as well. Avo deciding that the gravel is the best way to heat up his tyres. Understandable.
Indeed.
This track is going to be very difficult for qualifying because it's so easy to invalidate your lap. It is possibly the harshest track for that. It can be anywhere, especially through the third chicane. I do not know the names of the chicanes, unfortunately. I didn't look that one up before.
We start that around the Tamburello chicane.
I can see that Sam has already invalidated their lap, so it would be Pridus now who's got the first, well, still the first flyer then in that case.
Oh, and Pridus has invalidated as you were speaking. So
Troy!
Who is our hope as he goes through that tall right-hander there. That is turn 5, approaching the Aqua Minerale sequence.
Yes, and it does look like the 2 Aston Martins are going to be doing 2 outlaps as per usual, so we'll to see if Troy is able to maneuver this correctly. It's a little bit of a twitch coming out of it.
See,
this is the chicane though. This chicane can kill your can kill your lap, but he managed to get through without any issues, no invalidation. So as long as he keeps the last 2 corners on the track,
indeed,
he should get the first provisional lap time. And I think he'll be the only lap time, as I believe they'll behind. There was a little bit
and
of
it's a
spin.
19.4 from Troy here in the Ferrari. Technically some home field advantage. We'll see if that accounts for anything with Ferrari. Sometimes it could be a disadvantage for them, let's be real.
Random goes straight into the pits. I wonder if there was any damage to that Alpine.
I don't know if there was damage. He might have just only filled up and invalidated right at the end. If you invalidate at the end of the lap, you do have to go again.
Yes. And it's anywhere in the last 2 corners where that lap time can become invalidated.
Indeed. This is a long
the thing is, I also see that Avo's also come into the pits again. So, and they were all right next to each other. I do wonder if something did happen as Morgan instantly in for 116.1.
Nice.
Taking that provisional pole away and by quite some margin.
Yep, Morgana's been punching well above the weight she was punching last time she was here racing in FRL. She's currently in a decent spot in the championship too. Couple podiums to her name. Very strong driver here in the McLaren.
Yes, and of course, having that first lap under your belt, a pretty good lap as well. So she is currently second in the championship, 2 second places. Both the Mercedes drivers of John and Leo both taking both wins, so they are currently first and third.
Indeed, to fill
But
you in, that is John on 40 points going into round 3 here. Morgan 36, Leo 35 after his win last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, my bad.
And Luck is also there on 24, and he's also one to look out for, as he did set pole at in the first Grand Prix in Jeddah, so don't count him out as well. This is all 4 of them can get onto pole position here.
Yep, it is going
As
to be
I
a
believe.
tight shootout for that pole position right now, as a couple drivers going to be on out laps. A couple drivers on their...
Geiler setting a 117.6, and I was watching that last corner. He had a massive snap coming out of that. That's easily a couple temps, maybe even 3 temps lost there. So that was a really good lap from Skylar.
Dude, that does... threatens him to get a low 117. Not quite enough to threaten the big boys up front, with the big boys and girls, but it is a very strong lap. Very much a lap that, especially if you put those extra temps on that final turn, will let you lead the midfield.
I believe the next driver on their lap will be Kimaru. Leo looks like his lap was invalidated. Kimaru does set a purple sector 1, whether or not that's actually a purple sector 1 is another question.
Indeed, the track map here, it's very weird. I also had a big old dust particle. Wonder if somebody was in the gravel.
There was somebody in the gravel, to be fair. Ooh, and a rough hit on Aqua Minerale there.
Indeed, a lot of
Luck.
old school curbs, a lot of high curbs, especially through this chicane. If you take too much of it, you lift up the tires, you lose that traction, you lose that downforce in these ground effect cars.
Basically just end up veering into the wall or spinning out. Basically, not a good sign.
No.
But Kimaru is going to come across the line here. It's slightly slower than Morgan. It's a 117 flat. I believe Luck is right afterwards as well, getting a little bit of a tow.
Yep, and that is
And
a
115
115-2.
2.
Luck coming out
I did
swinging.
say to be wary of Luck, and he has definitely set the gauntlet down as a 115-2 is a huge time increase.
Yep, it is. We have Leo coming around, and he is going to be finishing up a lap here. A 115.5.
115.5. That's 3 temps. Luck has 3 temps, which is just 2.5 temps over Leo.
Yep.
First blood goes to Luck, unless John, who just started his first flying lap, can say anything against it.
Yep, I see a McLaren coming out of the pits too, Morgan. Going to be looking to get up into that fight there. She's only 9 tenths out of provisional pole. Depending on how hard she was pushing on that first... Ooh.
Speaking of pushing, John using more track than there is available.
Yeah.
Like, using every inch of that track.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get a cut there. Very impressive work. Just out wide. Just enough, though.
I don't think there's any part of the track he hasn't visited so far.
No, they say use
Absolutely
the whole...
flying.
Yeah, they say use the whole track, and John has taken that very literally. Using all of the track. Who needs banker laps when you got a push lap and then a push lap.
Ooh,
Ooh,
barely in on the last corner. I thought that was out as well. He's going to come across
it's
the
a
line at
114.9.
149.
He has his teammate in P3 with a 115.5. That's 5 temps up on a season champion. John,
That was honestly an insane lap. That's going to be difficult to beat right there. Like you're going to be John, and you're going to think, Jesus, that was one of the laps of all time
yeah, I
that
bet
he has driven right there.
his teammates got his jaw on the floor after seeing that come out. See what Morgan's got in the tank? She's on her flying lap right now. You could see,
Me see.
yeah, you could see the
Eh,
differences with the tires. She's not quite getting the margins out of it that John was, but still pushing hard.
She's 0.6 up on her time. That's not quite enough to be. That's not be enough to challenge John, but it'll be enough to fight Luck and Leo, which is exactly where she will need to be.
Indeed. Like, there are still plenty of rounds left, and there's still plenty of laps left. As we know
Let me
many
see.
times.
A 115.2, pipping both Luck and Leo to enter the enter the first row of the grid.
Yep, that is
I
pretty.
believe she started P3 or P4 so far, so
That would be
this would be her highest qualifying position.
indeed, and it's if she can keep up that consistency too, she'll be a contender right up here as Leo's on and out lap. We have Kimaru about to cross the line and set. If not, he's in the pits.
Half the way down the grid, looks like Kimaru is leading the basically the best of the rest train, with Random actually up in P6, which is a brilliant lap for him. Hats off for that improvement. That is, seeing yourself in 6th place there is going to be huge for him.
Oh yeah, he has been like around the back. I think this is also a home, if I'm correct, random's Italian as well.
Yes, so this will be his home crowd. So if he can set off a good qualifying, as we see
Leo,
just watching the Red Bull get out the way.
and that is Leo giving an Alpine a tow. Are they gonna be? They're maybe gonna end up fighting. Well,
I'd hope not. It is only quali. You'd kind of hope not.
yeah, there was some odd body language coming from the Alpine, but they ended up being respectful on track. But Leo not finding any improvement right now in Sector 1. I don't know if he is just saving up his battery, if he is actually deploying. Oh, and he lets the Alpine go. I don't think he liked this first sector. He's going to be going around.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a good idea to bail out early in that case. You see the first sector, you see your time's not great. You just wanna reset it. You will have enough fuel to do another slow out lap, and then you're effectively just doing a second out lap, kind of similar to how the Alpines do it. The Alpines, the Aston Martins. Apologies.
Yep. Sam was in the gravel a little bit, ended up invalidating their lap. They were improving by about half a second before that invalidation.
You see Random improving his time to a 117 flat. It's only a tenth quicker, but that's still consistent though, and that is a consistent time. And if he can get back into the pits in time, which I'm not sure if that's going to be entirely plausible, but if he can, he could still get a third lap out.
Yeah. Luck was completely stationary on the track a moment, letting some of these cars by. Another gaggle.
The Avo is currently half a second up as well. I think 6 tenths up as he's in sector 3.
Yeah. There she goes as he curves around the final turn.
Make sure you stay within the lines, well within the lines there.
Yep.
Let's see. A 117.4 beats his teammate Skylar, who will probably have an answer for that coming up. I think
Yeah.
Slider is going to be doing another warm-up, so we'll see at the very end if ever those two are going to finish in that order or the other way around.
Indeed, there is track evolution to worry about here. I don't see John coming out of the pits right now. He might just leave that time on the board. I don't think I would be.
It's not a bad shout, but you do have time. Like, this isn't a very long track, so you can go back out and get that other lap done. I don't think anyone who's doing these laps now will be able to come back in and come back out again. Priddis finishes with a 117.7, just a
Leo
tenth,
hits
or
a
less than a
115
tenth.
flat. So,
Yeah.
I don't think Leo has enough time to get another lap in. So, John manages to beat out his teammate. And he is going to be coming out of the pits. I see that.
Same with Luck, Luck is now starting his final hot lap. He's got a lot of clean air though. That's going to be huge, considering the whole gaggle of cars that is further up ahead. Oh, he's in the wall!
Luck in the wall at Tamburello. Oh dear. Oh dear, shades of... Ooh. That is not a corner you want to be having that kind of a spin out in. Luck might have enough time to go around if he has fuel.
I don't think he has a front wing. Yeah, no, his front wing is gone. He won't be setting another time.
So,
1:15.2 will be his final lap time. It will be P4, but...
Morgan's going to be racing around the track to be able to set her final lap. She should be able to do it.
She has plenty of time, yeah, 1:36, 1:35. She doesn't have to worry too much about making sure she gets there on time. She just needs to do a decent outlap, not spend too much time, but you can't be too slow on these outlaps just because of how difficult it is to heat the tires up anyway.
Yeah, the only issue might be traffic. Because, weird quirk of being a video game, you lose control when you cross the line after the checkered flag is out. And there has been some weirdness around that before. We'll see if John has another lap in him right now as he goes through Tamburello. Up here, breaks into the chicane. The chicane's instituted after 1994.
Is that 2/10 up on his time already?
Already?
He is 2/10 up on his time. But his Sector 2 and his Sector 3 were perfect. Can he replicate that? A little twitch, but he's still within the circuit. We want to see how much time he will lose from that. Absolutely planted through Aqua Minerale.
Indeed, he's still up. Not by as much.
Lost a little bit of time.
Yeah,
he's able to get through them.
Yeah, you lose half a tenth. I imagine he lost a tenth or two from the twitch, but made it back up just on track evolution a little bit. Ooh! John, you're scaring me.
Unfortunately, he does not beat his time, but it is another 1:14.9, which means all efforts will be turned to Morgan, who has invalidated her lap.
Yeah, so that is going to be her finishing end here. So our front row is all Mercedes right now.
I think the last driver to complete a lap will... I don't think there's anyone left to complete a lap, actually. I think everybody is finished. Yeah, no, everyone is done with their laps, so...
Morgan taking out a Ballard as revenge.
Oh, never mind, Random still had his lap, but he's able to improve to a 1:16.9. Looks like Avo was able to pip him for P6.
Indeed, so this is going to be our starting grid for the main race here. We have John, Leo, and all Mercedes front row. John with an incredible first lap by this league standard. He is the sole 114 on the board. We then have the McLaren of Morgan leading off the second row, followed by Luck and the Red Bull, one of his weaker qualifyings of the year. He unfortunately lost his front wing at Tamburello. Row 3 is a B-Carb and an Aston Martin. One of Abo's stronger starts of the year. Starting P6 with a 116.9, though not near the 116 for Kimaru. We then have row 4, that is random in the Alpine, showing improvement, showing strong pace, just barely not enough to beat out Ava. Followed by Skylar in the second Aston Martin, Canadian, starting in a around average spot for him. We have Pridas in the second Red Bull, down in P9. And then it's Sam in the second Alpine in P10, managing to find a 118. We then have Troy, who improved to a 118.7. The Scuderia, starting out of the points.
It's a long, long run down into turn 1. I expect this order to definitely not be the same coming out of the first chicane. I imagine it'll be completely all over the place.
Indeed,
Let's hope all the cars are going to be still on the track.
Yeah, I imagine. And then we saw drivers making mistakes into Tamburello. It is a heavy braking zone that is kind of almost deceptively heavy, especially when you are side by side.
Yeah, and it's exceptionally narrow as well. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, this is an old school circuit. Old, it's narrow. It's not any of those wide tilkodromes that you might be used to seeing by now.
It is a very fast-flowing circuit.
It is a classic on the calendar for a reason.
I want to know if, and it, I mean, obviously we haven't seen the weather, so and you can't really trust the fact that it's got blue skies out because this game can just chuck in rain for no reason.
Indeed.
So, and rain at Imola makes it very scary.
Oh, yes. Um, yeah, rain is a tricky thing to deal with. Especially on a circuit like this. Um, especially when you really want to be pushing hard. In a lot of these corners, there's very little margin with the arrow.
If
And
there's any at all.
yep, not yeah, like this is a circuit too where you have such a long back straight. There used to be a chicane going into the start finish line. It was one of the worst chicanes on the grid. They removed that, thankfully. And so now it is just a very long run from the exits of the final turn to Tamburello. And because of that long run, you want to get away with as little downforce as you can to make passing easy, especially because this is the only real zone on the track. Or it's the
It's also got
easiest.
the longest. I think it's just this longest and slowest pit lane. You lose, I think, 24, 25 seconds. So you don't want to be pitting on this track, and you don't want to be pitting into dirty air or behind someone because you will be stuck behind them for a very long time.
It's very hard to get past somebody here. Gotta be really brave on the brakes into Tamburello. You can also maybe get away with the move at the hairpin, but that one's a lot trickier. Other
You
important thing to
could.
note as we go through corner ownership, we don't do that. We do what every other motorsport series in the world does, which is if you're significantly alongside, that is front axle to rear tire, then you are owed space. Much simpler. Figured I would give that note to people as we are awaiting the call from race direction to begin. We are given a little bit of a grace period to let everybody set their strategies, do any adjustments, move their front wing up. They really want to. Does anybody actually move their front wing in the middle of a race in this game?
I've done it. I've done it between quali and the race. I've done that before.
You would like a...
You typically want a slightly higher downforce setup for the race compared to quali. At least that's what I did for previous titles, where I would have a slightly higher front wing just purely for the race compared to the quali, as it's a much nicer on the tires otherwise.
Indeed. Yeah. You can see that you're sacrificing that little bit of pace for tire wear. In the end, it pays off. You also want the car to be a bit easier to drive in the race.
Yeah, and you gotta be careful of random weather clouds appearing, but I believe the call's been made. Yes, they has.
2, 3, 4, 5 red lights! And FRL's away in a minute as John gets the launch he needs. There's a lot of movement in the back there. I see an Alpine making progress up red. Luck had a bad start. Morgan looking to fret and Skylar's at the ground.
Around is Avo!
Avo spun around at Tamburello. I feel like I did will in that something would happen at Tamburello in our little pre-race discussion. Somebody thought that's an Alpine off!
Believe that's Sam might be off. I don't know, but Sam had an amazing start up to P7, Troy up to P8, Skylar down to P9, and Pritters down to P10. Obviously, Avo with that little spin. I'm not sure that's contact made or not, but
decent chance of
already two groups forming, one head on the leading pack by John down to AlphaTauri Wolf, who is trying to hang on for dear life, and Random leading the second.
Indeed, yeah, Random gonna have a bit of a train for him. We'll see what his pace is like. Sam all over the back of his teammate. We'll wonder if there'll be any kind of Alpine consistency, Alpine order.
I don't
oh
think
my
so.
goodness! That was Sam. That might even be a little bit. Sam's off again. Sam sending it into the last two turns there.
Absolute sending it into the second to last corner. Runs a bit wide off into the gravel and basically cannot recover that car back into a proper line. Ends up dropping behind Troy and Priddus. Yeah. Oh, and Skylar.
Morgan down in the P4 to McLaren, fighting with Luck. Luck dumping a lot of battery in order to get up into that podium position. I don't think Morgan is as phased. Everybody on the medium tire except for Skylar. Morgan goes wide, approaching the Aqua Minerale complex right now. Aqua Minerale itself is just uphill left. So a lot to talk about. A lot has gone on right here. I wonder if for Sam that was a kind of move that you weren't planning on making, because Random may be braking a little bit earlier than Sam was expecting. And sometimes you just make an unplanned dive if that happens.
That very much could have been the case, but Luck is right on the back of Leo. I don't think he would make the pass just because of the double DRS that Leo has, but Leo will be forced to use his battery to make sure Luck doesn't get by. Morgan has dropped off of this pack now. I think that mistake wide definitely has cost her that.
Yeah, it costs her the DRS, and now that they are at the pace of John, who is in clean air, and they have DRS, they might just start to tow away. Kimaru might even be able to threaten a little bit up there. Frid and Skylar are also going to be fighting. Frid having to back out a little bit. But the closest battle here right now is Luck and Leo. Leo is actually using that battery. I can see it's charging. If you're Luck, though, you need to wait for the DRS here. You cannot make anything that slows you both down way too much.
The issue is, is that you can wait for the DRS, but Leo is also going to have DRS.
Indeed, there's another yellow flag for Avo back there around Aqua Minerale.
Just having a look, it looks like there was a collision between, it looks like Avo and Kimaru, which I believe would have caused that spin into turn 1. So that might have to be looked into after the race. Kimaru might have a penalty lingering over them. So that'll be something that he will be he might be thinking about. Whether or not what actually happened is a different story, but
Yeah, you
don't really know the outcome while you're racing. You gotta race for the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, it is best to assume as you are racing that you will get 5 seconds. Just make it a non-factor. Another yellow flag around a Ferrari back there. Troy managing to get up into the points. Returning driver here. Leo's almost fading out of the DRS of his teammate right now. John just making this track look easy.
Well, he definitely used up every bit of track in qualifying. Maybe he's doing the same for the race.
Did.
But I think Luck has a lot of pace here, and I think John would be stupid not to keep Leo within DRS, and well, you can see how much Leo gains.
Leo did have a
under
little
DRS.
bit of a wiggle there as
what a massive slide! Leo makes a massive slide. They're side by side into the hairpin.
A lot of action
to go for the
happening.
switch
They are still side by side as they approach the complex at the start of Sector 2. They will be approaching Aqua Minerale fighting. Leo manages to hold the position along the outside as they now go for Aqua Minerale, but Leo doesn't have any more DRS.
Will John slow down? Yeah, John, you can see John slowing down to ensure Leo will get DRS, but Luck will... I wonder if Luck will attempt the dive at some point, because Luck will see that and know that, well, we can't get Leo off of DRS, so he's going to have to make any move possible, and any mistake that Leo makes, Luck is going to have to fight tooth and nail with him for it.
Yep. Ooh, Luck is using that whole track he can right now. Leo not pushing quite as hard. They're gonna be side by side going into Tamburello, potentially. Leo not going defensive. Ooh.
Luck not going too aggressive onto it. But we've seen Leo make a mistake now, and so that's going to be in his head. It's going to be in Luck's head as well. Luck can now just start possibly feinting moves, trying to get all over the back of that Mercedes, as he'll know he'll have the pace for it.
Yeah, he knows he wants that
Mercedes. As you see it once again, he's trying. Luck is trying any way possible. On any of the shortest straights, he will attempt that move. I think he'll have to try to make a move coming out of Aqua Minerale and into the other complex that starts Sector 3. That might be his best overtaking opportunity.
Yep,
just catch a Leo napping.
There's
there.
A yellow flag in the back for... I can't quite... It's Avo again.
I think that's Avo. Yeah, Avo seems to have lost his front wing, his left end plate.
Indeed. Wonder if that starting incident got into his head a little bit. That's
possibly. He might have got rear wing damage, and that might be causing some huge issues as well.
That is a potential issue, yeah. We'll have to look, but if there is rear wing damage on that Aston Martin, you might consider just retiring the car. At that point, because you're not. It just kind of hurts. Oh, Luck going into the inside of Leo, and there's contact, and Leo has a skid exiting the turn. A little bit of instability there.
I am not sure what to make of that one. That was a ballsy move from Luck. But that's what you have to do around the track like this, and he got the elbows out, and that will have to be looked at later on because I was definitely on a razor edge of legality if it is fine.
Indeed. Got alongside around the braking zone. You'll have to take a look after the race, but now Luck is going to be on the charge for his first race win of the season right now. John has been on the top step before. Luck
Yes,
is
he
now
took
in
his
DRS.
maiden victory in Jeddah. Like using his battery to try to get into DRS here. Like obviously we'll have to use a bit more of it.
Indeed, just because of the 1-2 start, John does have a resource advantage going into this next phase of the race. He was able to save up. We do have some fighting in the back. Troy skidding into the gravel. That's going to invite Sam to make a move on his recovery from the incident. Speaking of ballsy moves, Sam able to
Yeah,
get
scam.
by.
Yes, and I think I saw witness Troy take out a bollard on the way in.
Indeed.
One
Taking
thing I have been seeing though is I've been seeing random. He's only 1.5 seconds off of Kimaru, which last time I checked, that was 3 or 4 seconds. I think he's closing into the back of Kimaru here.
yeah. Oh, Troy and Sam continuing a fight. Troy along the outside of that Alpine. They're gonna be fighting in the sector too, but Troy has the position right now. These two are trading blows in the back.
Yes, and this is obviously this is for 9th position, but you know they gotta be a little bit careful. They don't invite Avo into this.
Yeah, well, Avo in the gravel once again, approaching Aqua Minerale. There is definitely stability issues with that car right now.
But Troy does make a mistake here, and I think Sam's gonna make a move. No, he's gonna wait for the DRS. He's gonna wait for that rear wing flap to open.
Oh! Another few seconds and maybe like 1 or 2 more% of throttle, and that would have been a safety car from Sam. Instead, Troy going
But he's still gonna make
defensive.
that move work.
Yep, along the outside. I wonder if there's a lower downforce setup in that Alpine that is allowing such a straight line speed difference to happen. And that might even be why Troy was able to get alongside here into this hairpin and then approaching Aqua Minerale. Troy might be better set up for this second sector. The Alpine now is going to be rocketing on ahead. Avo still has a shot at points. He's able to get up there and keep the fight going. Luck, as you might have noticed, did get a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
Yeah, so that with the amount of fighting that's been going on, that might still be rescinded as you see the first pit stops coming in from Pridas in 7th place. He was catching up to the back of Random, who inexpertly is also up to the back of Kimaru.
Yeah, Random's having the race of his life right now.
But I'm glad you're the one that said it. If I were to say it, he'd have spun out. It would have spun out right there and then. I seem to be cursing everyone with bad luck as soon as I mention their name at the moment. So,
Indeed.
if any of the drivers would like to PayPal me to make sure I don't curse them for the rest of the race, I am joking, by the way.
Yep.
Luck though is right on the back. He won't get DRS this time round, but he might do at the end of the next lap. He's within a second now, so he's just got to stick within that second, just within the lap. Maybe John will be able to end up making another mistake, but the two of them have completely gapped Leo. Leo is 8 seconds down. Did he get any damage from that? I don't think so. I think...
Yeah, I don't see any damage on that Mercedes. Just the pace isn't really there right now for Leo.
but Luck is looming now, 7 tenths down. John will be trying to burn as much battery as he can just to get Luck out of DRS. There isn't much that he can do otherwise once Luck is in that DRS. It will just be a matter of time, especially with how much overspeed the DRS gives you. But once again, John's able to pull it out, and the DRS detection zone is right at the end of this. Well, not even there, it's halfway down this, and
Yep, Luck is not
he's
going to have
not
DRS.
within. It is such an early detection zone. Even though John has that wiggle of the rear wing, he's going to be safe this lap round. But Luck will go. Luck will set pit.
10 seconds!
No!
That's Luck out of this fight for the lead right then and there. 10-second time penalty. Oh, that is tragic. He pushed a little bit too hard into the pits, I think eager to try and get an undercut done. And now John is just going to be home free to set the pace of his race.
Will he come out ahead of Kimaru? Yes, he will.
Very close. Kimaru is not going to be fighting that Red Bull ahead of him, though.
No, I would understand. No, you don't want to be fighting that if you're Kimaru. You have your own. You have your own worries behind you with Random, who, albeit has dropped off the.
Sam
dropped off the
also
pace.
with a 10-second penalty for the pits, and that's going to give Avo some hope here.
Yeah, and it's also going to limit his ability to fight with Troy, because...
Yeah.
Although Troy has gone into a second set of medium tyres, so Troy will be doing a two-stop strategy here.
Indeed, and John going to be going into the pits, presumably to still cover off Luck, but the 10-second penalty makes that a little moot. Well,
still, though, John will have to be careful.
Yep, there is the safety car potential, and if that... Yeah, everybody up front pitting now, too. But there is a safety car potential, and if that happens, Luck and Sam will be able to serve their penalties under safety car. They'll lose track position for it. John emerges behind Luck. Not gonna really matter much, because Luck is out there. I think John just saw the couple penalties and decided to be a little bit more cautious with the pit. But Luck for now is
I don't know,
leading.
because Luck is 5 seconds ahead of John. And he only has to gain another 12, maybe another 7, 8 seconds.
Yeah, he needs to
He could still be on to win this.
Yeah, he needs to be 13 seconds. I just don't see John being unable to match that pace. We'll see what they do, but... That is Troy with a 3-second time penalty for track limits, as this race continues to evolve. That is Sam cutting the track, and an Aston Martin in the gravel.
Yes, Avo is definitely struggling with that front wing damage, those old medium tyres. Luck does set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, is now over 6 seconds ahead of John.
Yep.
Gotta remember that if you have pace on mediums, you're not going to necessarily have pace on hards, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Some drivers can be much better on the hards than they were the mediums, so I want to be interesting to see if Luck can continue this pace going forward.
Indeed, we just gotta see. I know Luck's biggest struggle is his consistency. He is a one-lap hero, but he does tend to have struggles in race pace. But we'll see if that can come
all he
undone.
has to do, all he does have to do is just make 19 qualifying laps. That's all he needs to do.
Indeed. Yeah. That's a Schumacher-esque drive you're asking of the Husky there.
Well, If there's any track to do it on, it would be Imola.
Indeed, site of many a Schumacher victory here.
And how many times had he win it? Has he won at?
At least once, I would say.
You'd hope so.
Avo going very long.
Let me actually have a look.
Yep, we have Avo going very long on those medium tires. 13 laps to hold at this point. Race update for everybody. Luck currently leading the Grand Prix, but he has 13 seconds of penalty hanging over his head. Currently second on track, but winning after penalties is John in the Mercedes, followed by his teammate, Leo. We then have Morgan in the McLaren. She started P3 and had a little bit of issue running in with Luck and is kind of settled into P4 at this point. Skyler running P5, but he has to pit again. So holding that net position is Prid down in P6. We have Kimaru in the V-Carb in P7, who was undercut by the Penguin, it looks like. We then have both Alpines at 8 and 9. That is Random and Sam. Sam has a large time penalty holding over himself as well. We then have Troy in the Ferrari. And finally, now coming into the pits, Evan Aston Martin, who leads a safety car and a miracle to get back into this race.
Yeah, that first lap incident has definitely changed the course of Avo's race. And also, Schumacher has won 6 times at Imola.
Yep. Pretty good record around this track. Let's see. Well, to be fair, Luck is Hungarian, and where was the kind of drive needed to pull off this kind of thing for Schumacher? Hungary. We're drawing the lines. It's all connected, you see.
It's a bit of a stretch, but you know what? He is doing it, though. That gap has gone up to just over 7 seconds.
He just needs... What he needs to do now is just settle down. Put in these laps. See what John has in that tank, too. Luck is going to be running into traffic. And John will
I wonder if he was close enough to get DRS, though. No, I don't think he was that time, no.
Roy pulling off to the side. Luck with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix once again. Still plenty of time in this race as they go on through.
It'll basically be a time trial between Luck and John at this point. Luck needing to get basically 5-6 seconds on John now. But that's still very doable. It's basically a battle of time, basically a time trial battle between the two. Morgan has every chance to catch up to Leo, but I feel like both of their paces have been fairly similar. The closest action is going to be Skyler and Pridus, although Skyler is on 16-lap-old hard tires.
Yeah, he does have
She started the race on. He's the only driver yet to pit. Pridus, who was the first driver to pit on his 7-lap-old hard tires. They might still be hitting a similar cliff now, though, which is... Pridus isn't really catching up to Skyler very much.
Yeah, well you
say
that.
He takes an entire 0.4. Clearly, whatever I say, the opposite happens today, so...
Yeah.
At this point, if I just say... I don't even know what to say at this point. I won't win the lottery, there we go.
Indeed.
I'll be a millionaire tomorrow, so there you go.
Yeah, buy some lottery tickets. Well, now that I said that, I jinxed you, and looks like Pridas is going to be getting alongside Skyler. Worst case, he will just take the DRS and get on by.
Although I don't think he wants to do that. I think Pridas wants his position before the DRS zone. Well, he will now get DRS.
Yeah, we'll see what he's to do. And there's a
Troy.
Yep, that is Troy in the gravel.
He doesn't seem to have any damage, though, so that is huge for him. Avo decided not to repair the front wing. I'm not sure whether that was a decision he made or the decision the game made for him, but...
Either is certainly a possibility. here, but it does
As
mean...
Pritis is going to look around the outside of Skylar and just completely misses the braking zone, runs
Oh,
on wide, and gets into this fight. It's Kimaru who gets by the both of them.
dude, that is the kind of move you don't want to be making, the kind of mistake you don't want to be making in this position if you're Pritis. You notice driver has to pit. Worst case, you just hold. It sucks to hold, but your worst case scenario is you lose some time until you get the straightforward DRS pass. And you still have DRS to help defend from Kimaru behind you.
Yeah, which is
Sam with another time penalty.
very unfortunate. I think what happened is that he touched the grass
Yeah. Oh!
outside, and ooh,
Little bit of nose to tail contact between Pridas and Skylar there. I think Pridas
there's
just
no love between these two on the track. They're just absolutely tooth and nail. I mean, ooh, for the
Skylar taking that as a sign to pit now.
I think that was possibly the best idea. 17 laps on the hard tires, though, basically locks most people into. And you could most people will be struggling to complete the runs. I imagine Priddus would definitely be doing another lap, doing another pit stop. I don't know if Skylar will need to. He would need to do 12 laps on these medium tires, which will be difficult, but will be doable.
Indeed, we'll see what Luck also is able to do here with that. John catching a couple of back markers in traffic. Skylar with a time penalty for track limits.
Comes right out the pit lane, gets a track limit warning, ends up ahead of Sam. Oh dear. I believe these two were fighting before us, so...
Yeah, but Skylar does have the better tires right now. We'll see what they're able to do. So far, the reverse strategy working out for the Canadian Dragon. Goes a little wide as he approaches Aqua Minerale. And John will be catching up to these guys and will be getting a tow, probably even DRS. That'll help his time trialing. And we have Pridas over to back Kimaru.
He's going to be looking for a move down the inside. They're going to go side by side in turn one. Priddus is not going to go run wide. They're still going to be side by side going into
they are
turn
giving
three.
each
Priddus,
other
no,
space.
he spins!
Kimaru kind of spins out Pridas, it looks like. And I imagine that is going to be a cursing penguin over the radio for that one.
That one is going to be looked at, and I wonder if there was any... I don't think there's any damage on either car. No, Priddus has huge damage on his front wing. His Red Bull is now ailing. He's going to be hoping to get back to the pit lane, but he's going to lose so much time. He's going to have to make another pit stop now, which...
And Troy speeds in the pit lane as he comes on in. That's 10 seconds. A lot of drivers messing up the pit entry here. It's a
very difficult one.
Yeah, it's hard. It's short. You don't have a lot of time to get down to speed, and you're coming out full throttle on the exit if you're trying to maximize it. Troy pitting onto the hard tires, but hey, Avo now has P10. Getting something out of this race, but John now able to take about a 9-second gap. We'll be getting some DRS off of an Aston Martin, potentially. Yep.
The important thing here now, though, is to look at random now on the back of Kimaru. If Kimaru has got any damage from that incident, then Luck might be on into that P5, and if Kimaru gets a penalty from that, there's also that incident in turn 1 with Avo that will be looked into as well. Random could be on to a P5 here, and Skylar could be on for that position as well, as he will be on fresh mediums. He'll be gaining time and gaining time. Or at least I hope so. If that's curse again, then I am sorry, Skylar. I apologize.
Yeah. We'll see what your commentator's curse does to the Canadian Dragon as Rand. It's also holding strong and steady in P6. It, it is this his highest finishing position so far?
I think so.
Even the potential for a P5, he is starting to kind of eat into that gap.
Look, yeah, you got P9 in Bahrain, which I believe was his first points in FRL. He wasn't here for the first race in Saudi Arabia. I believe that was his first points in FRL. That was last time out.
I think he had points in the previous season, but they were in the like P10, P9 kind of positions.
Yes, no, he has. His best position was a P8 at Singapore last season.
Indeed. So he is racing for his best position right now. He's just got to keep it on track, keep it steady.
Speaking of two drivers that are coming closer together, Morgan is very slowly eating into the gap that between her and Leo. It was about 3 seconds not too long ago, and it's been hovering around 2 now.
These two were racing for the win last time out. Leo ended up getting the better of them, but these two are able to race each other. This appears to... Leo just doesn't quite have the pace today. Morgan does have a chance of sneaking her way back onto that podium.
She does, and I wonder how much pace that McLaren has. Which one of them pitted first is the question. Did they pit at the same time?
They did pit on the same lap, so this is just a straight fight between these two. No strategy offsets to get in the way.
It'll be difficult for Morgan. She'll have to try to eat in 9/10 a whole second before getting into DRS, which once you're into DRS, the pass is fairly straightforward, providing you don't completely mess up your line coming out of the final corner, which can very much compromise any move you can try to make.
Indeed, here we go. Gone about eating into that time. Slowly but surely. Very slowly, but very sure.
It is a slow...
Oh, we might have done a little bit of commentator's curse. That gap is now widening. Sorry, Morgan.
We tried, okay? We tried. Blame Nixie for that one.
Yeah. Troy, keeping in mind that he does have a 10-second time penalty, he is nearly at Avo. And there is a Kimaru in the way.
Avo does still have that broken front wing, so the bird will be a lot slower than perhaps would be his true pace with that broken front wing. Troy does seem to be catching up, well, basically just hanging onto the back of Kimaru here, which is great for Troy because he'll get the DRS down the front straight, which he'll be able to use to catch up to Avo.
Yeah, it just becomes
the downside is that
a matter of...
They will be.
Yeah. It becomes a matter of passing and then eking out the 10 seconds.
Yes, which might become a lot more difficult as the laps do start to tick down.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're on to lap 26 now. Or at least for our leaders, lap 25 for those three. But with luck, catching up to the back of them, they might he might have an even one less lap
Yeah, and
to
Troy
make that
sneaks
gap.
on by as Ava was letting the blue flags go. Well timed to be following along. Avo's gonna be really upset at that one. You can feel it. And now Avo's gonna be stuck in some more blue flags, but Troy will be getting blue flags for the Red Bull coming up ahead. Very awkward
That
moment.
he will. And with that, you can start to wonder, because John will be at the back of this as well. He won't be, maybe not now, but he will be coming up to the back of it, and he is now 9.6, which is still maybe not enough, but how many? If let me just see how many warnings John has had so far. Just to
Just to get some perspective here.
okay, John has had 2 warnings, so
I imagine
he will have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I imagine John is being careful. Troy lets some leaders through. That is Kimaru and a Red Bull. Red Bull gets on by the V car. Ava gonna be
3 different drivers, 3 different laps.
Indeed.
That's not something you see very often.
Indeed. There they go. Troy gonna be looking. He's going on by.
Do you see that Troy has got the fuel indicator on, which he may be running low on fuel, which is definitely not what you want to be seeing 5 laps from the end. That's possibly the worst thing to be seeing at this point.
Indeed, especially when you are trying to eke out a 10-second gap to the car behind to get your first point of the
As
season.
Luck does pit. Luck pits from the lead. I imagine he'll be taking the 10-second time penalty. He'll come up behind Leo and behind Morgan. I don't think that's the right call here.
Yeah, Luck's best hope was to run to the end and hope. He won't end up behind Leo. He will be
won't
ahead
end
of.
up behind them.
Yeah, he will be ahead of Leo. But how is he gonna get to John in 5 laps?
Well, if he's able to do that, then
Yeah, the gap is 27 seconds. His best chance of winning this Grand Prix was to just try to eke out that 12-second gap.
well, unless he's able to make up 8 seconds per lap and an overtake, which if he does do that,
I would be investigating
I
him
think
for grip hacks if that's what happened. Frankly.
yeah, I think I would be I think I'd be thinking of the exact same scenario.
Yeah.
Although saying that, even in his outlap, he's gained 2 seconds on John.
Yeah, but remember these soft tires are gonna edge off a little bit by the end here. Not enough, but like not enough to like really affect the pace too much, but enough to make the task at hand.
Just a little bit harder than it
Yeah.
already needs to be.
Yeah, and then keep in mind that Luck would also have to get 3 seconds because he has a time penalty. Like,
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that decision right there, but
yeah,
perhaps he wasn't. Perhaps he was worrying about that move with Leo, where he was worried he'd get an additional penalty for that, and with this, he can now eke out the gap to Leo instead of worrying about John.
indeed, this is the kind of move. It makes sense if you are just deciding you're not going to try to win the Grand Prix. You are just going to solidify P2.
is
Which-
understandable, because if you're Luck, you will be worrying about that. Because
Yeah.
if you have a potential 5 or 10 second time penalty, and if he didn't make that pit, he would have probably finished P4 if he got an additional 10 seconds. So with this, he is effectively securing himself a P2.
Indeed, from the points from the probable points maximizing position, could have just decided that winning was very unlikely and solidify what you have, maximize what you think you is available to you. It is a little sad though to see a driver just kind of through their decision making admit, yeah, the Grand Prix is lost.
Perhaps, but you can't fault John throughout the entire race, though.
Oh yeah.
Has, in at least in a net situation, has in theory been leading the race the entire way effectively.
Indeed. He was only not there for track position through an undercut, but with all the time penalties, there wasn't really any pressure.
There wasn't a single moment where John wasn't leading this race in after penalties have been applied, and a pole into effectively that. I mean,
Yeah,
a dominant drive from the Mercedes driver, who will be picking up his second victory of the season, 2 in 3.
Yeah, he went from one victory before coming into this, and that victory was very tooth and nail, I believe. Unless I'm thinking of Troy, the Mercedes victory. No, I think John won in Australia a while ago at this point. So, essentially going from somebody who was always very distant to winning to now winning 2 out of 3 races to start, and there is a yellow flag for Red Bull. Is that luck? That was luck.
That is luck.
Oh dear. That is going to reel in Leo a little bit. Ooh. Enough?
I don't think there'll be any. I don't think it will. It might be enough to start making that worry again now. No damage, I don't think, is on that Red Bull. No, there is damage on that Red Bull.
Oh yeah, he's missing
both
an
end plates
plate.
are gone. He's missing both end plates.
What will Luck do here? The final lap has started, so you might as well just take the lap.
You can't pit here. You can't. If you pit here, you lose 25 seconds. You might as well just drive the lap with no wing. You at least have that tire advantage to help you out.
Yep. Here we go. Final lap of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
John will be... It's basically a victory lap for John at this point. 25 seconds ahead. I mean, he could probably bin it into every single chicane and still come out in first. Would not recommend doing that, but
he could if he really wanted to, as he cuts on through that last chicane. Still pushing it. Get ready, here we go. Last 2 turns for John, the American driver. Rounding the final turn. He's going to be coming onto the back stretch. He is going to be finishing. He waves in victory. John wins in Emilia-Romagna.
We'll still be looking for that, looking for that anytime he can gain, just to be safe, as Avo will actually finish P10 ahead of Troy from the 10-second time penalty that Troy received.
Didn't do enough.
As Luck will finish P2 on the road, and
yeah,
with Leo finishing in P3, Morgan does end up... Random though, P6, a brilliant race from the Italian driver.
Yep. Random managing to finish in his highest position. Leo grabs another podium. Morgan, P4, still strong from her. But your winner today, John.
In a decisive fashion.
Very much so. You will be taken to the top step of the rostrum. For the second time this season, solidifying a lead at the top of the table. Mercedes.
And announcing that this is my championship.
Indeed. Mercedes having this dream start too. And John having the dream start. And what a drive too. Only driver to hit a 114 here at qualifying. First the entire way, pretty much. Very little.
There was never one point you thought that he wouldn't win it.
Indeed. There was a little question mark with luck, but Luck's pit stop at the end solidified the question. Rest of the order, Kimaru finishing P5. Nice 10 points for the V-Carbs. Random P6. Skylar P7. Pridas with a strong finish in P8 by his standards. We then have Sam in P9 scoring 2 more points for the Alpine. Avo rounds out the point for P10. Troy finished just outside the point in P11. Very strong race weekend.
Yes. I reckon Random is celebrating that sick as if he's won the race. I believe that actually doubles his points total in FRL in all time. That was a huge race for him.
Indeed, wonderful drive. The home soil may have given him that little bit of a boost. Anyway, we have October 4th. Proud for Hungary. I will personally not be around that weekend, but it will be going on. Sierra, you can feel free to commentate it yourself. Because of course.
Of course.
Hungary will be Luck's home race. We'll see what he's able to muster there. See if he can get his first win of the season. Anyway, I've been Nexy. Been joined here by Sierra. A couple other folks to thank. Everyone involved in the FIA, race direction, etc. I will see you guys in the next race.